Hey everyone, I'm Isaac and welcome back to Isaac Reviews 2025. Today I decided to do something a little different and review not one but two movies so that I don't have to make two separate videos. We all remember Barbenheimer from 2023, right? Well, it looks like some studios have been trying to recreate that success lately, but usually it results in one movie becoming a smash hit while the other ends up as a box office bomb. And the most recent addition to this trend is with 28 Years Later and Elio, or as I'm calling it, 28 Elios Later. Both are incredibly different, with one being a lighthearted Pixar film and the other being the third installment in a post-apocalyptic horror franchise, but they just so happened to come out on the same day. But let's start with 28 Years Later. Like I mentioned, it's the latest installment in the 28 Days Later franchise, with the first film's director, writer, and cinematographer all returning. It's set almost 3 decades after a deadly virus escaped from a biological weapons laboratory. Still living in a strict quarantine though, some have found ways to exist amid the infected. One such group of survivors lives on a small island in rural Scotland connected to the mainland by a single, heavily defended causeway. But when one of them decides to venture into the dark heart of the mainland, he soon discovers a mutation that has spread not only to the infected but other survivors as well. It's an interesting narrative with some really solid horror, thought-provoking themes about mortality and brutal deaths, on top of some killer makeup for the zombies. I do wish some of the character dynamics had more time to shine, and the story structure was a bit wonky, but otherwise 28 Years Later was great. And one of its best elements would be the actors. Jodie Comer and Aaron Taylor-Johnson are incredible with how they showcase the deteriorating mental state of their characters and how they try to interact with their son Spike despite that. Speaking of him, newcomer Alfie Williams was excellent as Spike, and I can already tell that he has a bright future ahead of him for his career. And despite his limited screen time, Ralph Fiennes was great as the mysterious Dr. Kelson. It also supplies some great production values on top of the great writing. Well, for the most part, because my main problem with 28 Years Later would have to be the atrocious editing with an ungodly amount of quick cuts. Otherwise, on top of the superb production design, sound design, and score, the cinematography and shot composition are incredible, especially when you realize that this was all shot on iPhones. Seriously, that's impressive. Overall, 28 Years Later is a worthy continuation and a great film on its own. It's friendly enough to newcomers while also being a must-watch for longtime fans. This will be getting an 8 out of 10 from me, so now let's move on to Elio, the latest film from Pixar that's been through quite a hectic production. It was originally supposed to come out in March of 2024 with a teaser coming out in 2023, but due to the actors and writers strikes as well as a change in directors, its release date was pushed back by 15 months. But now that it's finally been released, I'd say the wait was worth it. It centers around a kid named Elios Later who's obsessed with aliens despite his aunt trying to keep him down to earth with this interest, for lack of a better term. But after he uses Air Force technology to send a message to outer space, Elio gets beamed up by aliens to a large intergalactic community called the Communiverse. And when Elio is believed to be Earth's leader, he'll begin to form new bonds with eccentric alien species while discovering who he's truly meant to be. It is admittedly a familiar story, what with it being about a regular person being catapulted into a position of power based on a misunderstanding and having to navigate a conflict despite not knowing what he's doing, only for the lie to be revealed later on. But like plenty of Pixar's films before it, what makes it work is that it's able to take that simple premise and turn it into something special. And that especially applies to its characters and themes about loneliness. This is showcased through the title character, and I'm sure plenty of other people may have already noticed this, but Elio is very autistic coded. Wow, if I had a nickel for every time a recent Disney movie or show had an autistic coded character, I'd have 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's neat that it happened 3 times. Also, for anyone wondering, yes, I do headcanon that Elio is on the spectrum. But beyond that, he's just a super endearing character. You really get a feel for him wanting to find a sense of belonging, and it helps to supply plenty of moments that are both heartbreaking and uplifting. I'm not ashamed to admit that this was quite a tearjerker, even if that's something Pixar is good at. I enjoyed the rest of the cast as well, and the voice actors all did a great job, even if Lord Grygon was a bit underwhelming as an antagonist. Also, Glorden is a sweet baby, and if anything happens to him, I will kill everyone in the room and then myself. He's a lot like Perito, where you start out worried he'll be an annoying comic relief, but he ends up giving the film a lot of heart. And on top of the great characters and message, Pixar continues to shine when it comes to their animation. The film has some exceptional world building with the Communiverse, which is brought to life amazingly by the artists at Pixar with vibrant colors, creative designs, expressive character animation, and immersive environments, on top of a wonderful score by Rob Simonson. Really, Elio is just a great movie across the board. It sucks that it's been struggling at the box office, especially when you consider that this is an original film from Disney amidst all their remakes and sequels, but I'm holding out hope that positive word of mouth can help it bounce back. I'd hesitate to call it one of Pixar's best films, but for me, it's one of their most relatable. Obviously, the animation is great, but it's also got a touching message about loneliness and self-identity, which is aided by the endearing characters and strong amount of heart. So definitely give it a watch if you can, because it deserves all the attention it can get, just as much as it deserves a 9 out of 10 from me. Anyways, thanks for watching these episodes of Isaac Reviews 2025, subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you all later.